Welcome back to A Celtic State of Mind. I'm Paul John Dykes, and for the next 15 minutes, I'll be joined by Sean Connolly and Chris McElwain. We will be trying to unpack Ross County 1, Celtic 0. That's the first half done. It's a half-time score. Sean Connolly, what's gone wrong in that first half for Celtic, do you think?
Yeah, we've been a bit off it, particularly in midfield. Engels and Hatate been pretty poor. Ida's been pretty poor as well. The wingers have been decent, but there's some moments where Kuhn beats his man, and then there's just so many bodies in the box, and there's just nothing he can do. It looks like the only chances we've really created are from balls to the back posts, and we've not been doing well with those. I think maybe a couple of shots on target, but we've put the ball out of the stadium, literally out of the ground twice. So it's not very clinical. It's not very clean. It's not very tidy. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Trustees looked good. Wingers have looked good. Not much else, really.
Well, I think when we're looking at it, you get your old cliches and all that about European hangovers and everything else. Don't particularly subscribe to that. We made a few changes, freshened it up. And like Sean says, I think, Chris, when you look at the game, 20 minutes in, it looks as though we're playing a back two. When you look at the positions of the players and where they've actually been within the first 20 minutes of the game, 30 minutes into the game, Celtic haven't had a shot on target. And what that tells you is that we're basically camped in the Ross County half and in the final third, but not creating much, obviously. And then 40 minutes into the game, what happens is Ross County get a penalty. That's always going to be, a fear when you're nothing each going into that kind of period of the game that they can snatch one. It was a penalty, 100%. Kasper Schmeichel saves it. We're all cheering, and then again you look at the replay. He did go off his line. Someone's saying in the comments actually that there was an encroachment in relation to the second penalty. I never saw that. Bob. Anybody else see that? Did you see that, Chris? Did you see the replay? No,
I didn't see that. No, I don't know if I think I was still too stunned by the fact that he'd come off his line anyway. But yeah, no complaints for the penalty. And I actually saw that gave Ross County a bit of belief towards the end of the half.
Yeah.
Agree with you and Sean's assessment there. I thought we were far too pedestrian in the first half. The reaction that we spoke of, that we wanted to see before the game, wasn't there for me. I think we were too passive in our play. Initially, I thought Hatate started with some good movement. I thought he was quite mobile, was moving about quite well. I actually thought Ida, on a couple of occasions, was doing a pretty decent job at linking the play, but then it just started to peter out. We've saw glimpses of the usual good link up between Johnson and Kuhn, but there's been few and far between. We've not seen enough of it. Maeda, we're seeing the worst of Maeda today in terms of his finishing, and something hit my window throughout that half there, and I think it was Engels' shot, to be honest. Still going, yeah. I'm still rising. Yeah, I think to a man we've not played well. Interestingly enough, the one area I was going to say we looked very comfortable in was defensively, up until Liam Scales puts his hand up, and it's a stonewall penalty. But I was planning what I was going to say for this halftime show, and I was going to say I thought Scales was growing into being that kind of senior defender up to that moment, but it's a gilt-edged mistake. It's not doesn't make for great watching. Interestingly enough, before the penalty's given, Scales actually finds himself in exactly the same situation, and that time he's got his hands behind his back, so he obviously knew that he'd got that one badly wrong. And as I say, fair play to Ross County and Hale for scoring a penalty. It was I think Schmeichel, great save initially, but he did come off his line, and if you want to follow the rules, I guess you have to take it. One thing I wasn't keen on, I didn't appreciate Kasper Schmeichel going up and scuffing the penalty spot. Don't need to see that from our players. I know probably hypocritical a bit. Every team's got players that do it, but I just don't like to see it. I hold our guys to a higher standard. So yeah.
If he hadn't got off his line, and that wee bit of gamesmanship meant that they missed the penalty, would you still said it?
I'll plead the fifth on that.
Well, we're 1-0 down, Sean. We're going to bring up some of the comments. It's always a frustrating watch. And listen, I think I've done so many games at halftime where the first half hasn't been great, and that's been the state of play a lot of the times under Brendan Rodgers. And my kind of rule of thumb is, you know what, you go out there and you continue for the next 10 or 15 minutes. You don't make knee-jerk changes at half-time. You give the likes of Engels an opportunity to redeem himself because he's not had a great first half. Ida has done little. Give him the 10 minutes to redeem himself before you look at changes. Do you think that's the way Rodgers will approach this?
I think we might see one change. I think we might have Luke McCowan come on. I think we could do with a bit more imagination and energy. Yeah, and that centre mid, I think it would be Engels that comes off. We know the guy's amazing, but like he's just not today. Like there was the one where he tries to do a back heel and just gets himself like in all kinds of knots. Yeah, and one thing I will say is their left back should have had
Campbell.
2 yellow cards. Yeah, should have two yellow card offences that were both missed by the referee.
Yes,
first one was an ankle. It was on Kuhn, wasn't it?
Yep, both late tackles, studs on,
Yeah.
so they were both missed. And in the interest of fairness, Schmeichel should have got yellow carded as well for scuffing that penalty spot. But yes, that Campbell there was a Kuhn chance where Maeda kind of cuts it back and Kuhn's about to tap it in and Campbell comes out of nowhere to stop it. And we could be having a very different conversation at this point. You can talk about no shots on target, but that was a certain goal if he hasn't made that saving tackle. But yeah, he's leaving it on the players, and the ref needs to keep an eye out for that because Engels looked like he got hurt a bit, and so they couldn't. So we need to watch out for that.
Yeah. Other than that, he's a decent player. I thought up and down that left side, he makes he makes the ground up really, really quickly. But as you say, it's something that it's frustrating when we're looking at the nuances of our first half performance, where Celtic haven't been great, and we are looking at things like that because a stamp on the ankle can slow someone down considerably. And when Kuhn's game's all about that jinkiness, and he did it a few times, I get a wee bit frustrated. I'm a big fan, Chris, of Nicholas Kuhn, but I wish sometimes when he comes inside, just shoot.
Yeah, just need a little bit more of that killer instinct. If the chance opens up, we've seen it so many times. Sometimes you just have to speculate. You just have to have that shot because even if the keeper gets on it, the ball comes out, rebound, you've got another chance. Keeper saves it, maybe knocks it behind the post. You've got a corner, you've got a set piece. But if you're just tapping it around the edge of the box and you're not taking that opportunity to have a shot, you won't get anything. You're just going to continue repeating the cycle, rinse and repeat all the time. I want our players to be a wee bit more direct, a wee bit more. I mean, this is not a game we need to win pretty. We just need to win, right? And just if you get the opportunity, hit a shot. That's all we need. So, look, it's not made for nice watching. I've still got faith in the team. I think we've got enough about us to go and turn this around. But I do. A few players there need a wee shake. I think it is a cliche, but they are playing like the European hangover team at the moment, and I think we need to shake ourselves out of it, dust ourselves down, and come out in that second half and show that we're the better team.
Yep, Rodgers will be demanding a reaction from the players who take to the field, and I do think that a lot of people are agreeing with you, Sean. Get McCowan on the park; he does inject a different type of energy, and this is a big thing. It's like, who cares who cost what at this stage? McCowan knows this kind of game and what's required to get through this game. Obviously, having played with Dundee against Ross County a number of times. Jean-Paul II, like watching last season today, been awful. Would you subscribe to that, Sean? Is it a wee bit of is it a wee bit more laborious to watch today?
Yeah, it's not been very enjoyable, to be honest. And look, the goals can change games, so we might, if we can get one, get a bit of intensity. I think Ross County will tie it at some point, even though they are basically just camped in. But we've got quality in the bench. I'm not sure how much quality they have in the bench, so I think there will be a bit of a turning at some point, and we just need to try and tidy things up, get a bit more clinical, but fewer mistakes. Obviously, these sort of mistakes, we made a few of them in Dortmund on Tuesday and we were punished, and we've made a couple today and we've been punished once. So we need to tidy it up, to be honest, and hopefully they tire and our quality shines through, but it's not been too enjoyable so far, to be honest.
We were looking for a reaction after the disappointment of a 7-1 hiding during the week. Joe McAlinden comes in. Lame response to midweek disappointment. It has been. We wanted that reaction, Joe. We've not really had that at all. Horrendous first half, says Big Bruce. And AR comes in to say nothing has stuck to Ida today. It's been a difficult one for Ida. We were looking at the fact that, starting away games against a packed defence. We knew, like I say with the stats here, Chris, we knew that we would be pinning them back into their own half. And either sometimes you're looking for him to have that strength to, shake off a couple of defenders and get a shot, and it's not happened for him today. I mean, is that a kind of change that you would be looking for? I wouldn't be looking for it at half-time, incidentally. But what would Kyogo do differently?
Well, it's interesting because there are a couple of moments where Ida, I thought, when he's playing with his back to goal, he's got the ability to lay the ball off to, say, Hatate, for example, which he did once or twice. And you know what, I think that side of his game's not bad, but it's just not really coming off today. The difference you get with Kyogo is Kyogo looks for those pockets of space in behind, right? But at the same time, he's going to be relying on service coming from the wings. He's going to be relying on service coming from midfield. I mean, Engels looks like, he couldn't hit a barn door with a pass today, unfortunately. So you're looking for someone that could, cut a pass right through their defence and allow Kyogo to run into it. The one thing you would get from Kyogo, whether he comes on, around the 60-minute mark or wherever, is you get energy. And I think we need an injection of energy at the moment because we look very one-paced just now. Even Maeda's not really getting a chance to showcase his pace too much. He's had a couple of good opportunities, but, Maeda's not the guy you want having a header at the back post. You want Ida or someone in that position. So, yeah, I think we do need to make changes. I agree. I'd like to see McCowan. I think he brings maybe an element of grit. We need to this team, possibly even Bernardo at some point, again, just to give us a little bit more drive and energy from the midfield, because I don't think we're necessarily seeing it from Engels. Hatate, I think, is doing okay in terms of moving about. It's just not really getting a chance to play those innovative passes. Maybe McGregor's a possibility for coming off, because I don't think he's had his best game. I don't think he's been able to influence a game up to his usual standards. So, yeah, the good thing is we've got options, right? We do have options on the bench.
That would be a bold one. Patrick James Simpson, lacklustre, no shots on target, not much more to say. Engels off it today, Bernardo on at halftime. I'm going to say, and this is just through the experience of how Brendan works it, unless there's a niggle or an injury, it doesn't tend to change too much in terms of personnel at halftime. He normally gives them the 10-15 minutes in the second half.
60 minutes,
and then makes the changes. But McCowan seems an obvious one to add that energy. Engels, for me, would be the top candidate to come off, because he's not a great first half. And then up top, obviously, it's Kyogo for Ida. Kuhn, maybe if he's got a niggle, you're going to see Forrest coming on for him, aren't you, Sean? And this is the thing. People keep saying, oh, we're relying on Forrest. And, if he does the job, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and look, the tricky issue at the moment is, and it's something we've always said about Kuhn, is he doesn't seem to be too sure when he hits a lot of traffic, and there's a lot of traffic in there. Mm-hmm. So he can beat his man, no problem. I wouldn't say no problem, but he can beat his man, and then it's what happens next. And if he's usually got Alistair Johnson overlapping, but then he's not really had Engels and Hatate as options. Ida's not really been an option for him. And we're not doing too many of these triangles and getting round, breaking through these gaps. There's some heavy touches, some slow turns, and if we can sharpen it up, though, we can do it. It's not like we're not a bad team, and they're not any world beaters. We've not been at our best so far today, and we do need to try and raise that.
Yeah, I thought in the opening stages of the game, I saw that much used dink over the top. It was McGregor that made the pass. And I thought to myself sometimes, it really is, when you've got the packed defences, it's a great way of doing it. But the best player in the park for that dinked pass is Kyogo. Just playing off the final shoulder of the last defender, and he is the guy to beat that trap. However, we'll see how that goes. I'm a bit like yourself, Sean, in that it's been really poor. But I do think that we can spark into life in the second half. We've seen it so many times under Rodgers. David Gillespie, some nice tops on behind you there, David. Nothing from either Hatate or Engels. I disagree about Hatate. I don't think Hatate's had a particularly bad first half. He has quite a few times tried to link play. Nothing's come off. But he is a type of player that can cut through the defence with that defence splitting past. David Tares, Ross County defending well. There is a lack of energy in a play. That is so evident, the lack of energy. And Pete, we're beat today. Come on, Pete. One striker against the team sitting in is a ludicrous switch wingers onto their better foot. Kuhn cutting inside is stupid against this defence. I wish he would shoot when he cuts inside, to be honest with you, Pete. But no, I'm not taking that we're beat yet. There's plenty of football to be played in the second half. David Boyle, really poor today. Same tactics continually and no imagination. Engels having a shocker and Toothless up front. We have options. That's a big thing, David. We've got options to change that. And John Sweeney, maybe the Ross County manager, can give Rodgers his tactics, how to defend and make it hard for the better opposition team. as it's working for them at the moment. It certainly is. But let's go and rejoin the action for the second half. I'm going to stick with my prediction, Sean, 3-1. What about yourself?
I'm actually going to revise it down to 2-1, to be honest. Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Go and enjoy the second half. Thanks, everybody, for getting involved and joining us at full time on A Celtic State of Mind.